Helical swept features. Helical swept features can be used to create springs and threads. They can also be used as cuts. With the right geometry and definition, you can create very fancy threading pieces and very fancy springs with the addition of a 3D sketch, a series of swept features. But this will be the basics. So first, we need to create a helical spiral curve. To do that, I will sketch on the top plane, and I will say normal to, and I will sketch a circle about the origin. I'll use nice round numbers, 1 inch, and accept. This will become the basis for the helical curve. Under Features, Curves, Helix and Spiral. It asks me to either sketch or select the sketch that has a single circle. Well, that's what I just created. And if you turn it about on an angle, you can see where the swept feature will follow. There is that helical. And helix spirals are controlled by, for example, pitch and revolution. Pitch is the gap between spirals, the number of revolutions, so how many times. Do you want to have a taper to this spiral? You can control it by the overall height. Perhaps we know that it's going to be 3 inches tall. There's no taper, and there's going to be 10 revolutions. That's very helpful when looking at spring catalogs and they tell you the overall length and the number of revolutions. Perhaps you know the height and the pitch between the occurrences. You could do clockwise and counterclockwise. For the start angle, I always place that at 0 because that is a convenient number. I'm drawing on the top plane. It's coming from the top plane. And so 0 will allow me to use the right plane to sketch the additional cross section. So I will say start angle is 0. I will accept. So there's my helix and spiral. There's my right plane. And I will sketch on the right plane. And I will say normal to. And I will draw a simple circle, very small. I don't want it crashing into the rest of the swept feature. And I need to select that center, and near the end, but not the very end, I will select and pierce. Check that off. I have a path and a profile, and I could select swept boss base. The cross section will be that little circle. The path will be the helix and spiral, and there is a spring. And again, you could use this to create threads. You can use this to create springs, whatever you can come up with. Perhaps a coiled cord for a lamp, antenna, whatever you can think of. And also, these can be revolved cuts. If you have a solid, you can use the helix and spiral, curve, and a profile to cut and remove material from a solid. I will delete this, and I will delete these two features. And I still have that circle. And using that circle, I will use helix and spiral to show separately the spiral, which is more like a clock spring of sorts. And so it comes from the center, it comes outward, number of revolutions. Start angle remains at 0 for the right plane, clockwise, counterclockwise. On the right plane, I will sketch, and I will say normal to. And I'm looking at that spiral on edge. And I will sketch a small rectangle. Something like that. And I'll apply dimensions, and when I'm happy with it, I'll say that corner. And again, not selecting the end, but near the end, pierce. I want to be sure I'm not crashing into the adjacent spiral. And let's see if that works. I think it will work. Gather the item, swept boss base, and there is a flat spring, coiled up spiral.